Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking all about the chatterbait. It is a bait that for the last 15 years or so has been taking over fishing. Everybody loves it, and in this video I'm gonna tell you why they love it and how you can fish it better and more confidently as well. Whether you're a beginner or you're a seasoned vet, there's gonna be something in this video that will help you fish the chatterbait more effectively. Let's get into it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. So why do people love the chatterbait? There's a lot of reasons why you should love the chatterbait. Listen, one is the versatility. It can do anything. It goes a lot of different places. You can fish at a lot of different areas in different water clarities, right? It can be fished in clear water. It really excels in dingy water. It's a year-round bait. This bait can be fished all year round. It is one of those things where even when we talk about chatterbaits are actually vibrating jigs. But chatterbaits are so good that the entire fishing community calls vibrating jigs chatterbaits because they're just that good and that dominant when it comes to vibrating jigs and how it affects the bass. Now, there are other companies that make it, there are other versions like the Melee or Slobber Knocker. These concepts that we'll talk about today really apply to those as well, but the chatterbait is the top-notch version of the vibrating jig. So we're gonna really focus on that brand by Z-Man today. Now, before we get into how to do things well, let's talk about some common mistakes to avoid, because you may be making these mistakes now and you may be losing fish because of it. So during the video, I'll go over all the things that you should be doing so you can avoid these common mistakes. The first common mistake is not matching the color to the hatch, right? So in your bodies of water, there's certain colors that are present in the bait fish. Not fishing the chatterbait that connects with that color could be a problem. Another thing is fishing it in the wrong areas or conditions, right? There's certain conditions that the chatterbait just shines in, and sometimes you're fishing in the wrong place. Another big mistake is fishing the wrong gear. Now, chatterbaits are super effective, but if you fish it on the wrong rod, with the wrong reel, on the wrong line, you may be doing the right things, but losing bass because of the lack of gear that you have. So in this video, I'm gonna give you why people love the chatterbait, the ways to pick the right chatterbait, all the gear setups, and where to fish it this year so that you can catch more bass on this bait. So as I mentioned, Z-Man has cornered the market. They have tons of chatterbaits out there. I'm gonna highlight a few and the uses of those chatterbaits so that you know exactly what chatterbaits you should use in certain situations. All right, the jackhammer is probably considered the best chatterbait on the market. A lot of people consider that the best bait on the market. The new Evo that just came out this year is supposed to be a cheaper version of the jackhammer. Now, the jackhammer is probably one of the best chatterbaits out there. The issue is it costs $20. So when you lose this in a tree, when you lose this, somewhere, you feel it. The Evo has like a tungsten design that mimics the jackhammer, but it comes in at a way better price range for your everyday angler. So jackhammer is a great standard for the chatterbait. The Chatterbait Mini Max is your small baitfish style presentation for the chatterbait. Now, this is one of those where you can downsize and it gives it a little bit different, different thump, a little bit different vibration in the water that makes it different than others that may be fishing the jackhammer heavy. This is a great bait fish, small presentation, finesse style presentation of the jackhammer. Those are just a few. There's others out there. There's the cross size. The cross size, I think I have one here. It is the red version. The cross size has a weed guard on it so that when you're fishing it near cover, like laydowns and wood, the weed guard is supposed to help with mitigating getting hung up in some of those laydowns and things like that. There are other versions that are out there, but those are the ones that most people know about, that most people fish, and that will cover most of your presentations and applications in the water. So aside from the types of chatterbait, they all come in different colors, right? Different styles, different colors. Colors do matter when it comes to the chatterbait. There's certain applications where you want to have the right color for the chatterbait. If you're fishing in that dark, muddy, murky tonic style water, you want to fish like black and blues. You want to fish even whites, right? Things that will make a big shadow in the water are helpful, right? Because of the condition of the water, the stain of the water, those black and blues come out really well. The blade helps as well, but the color aids in making it a little bit more visible for the bass. In clear water, you want to fish those shad style presentation, those whites, those chartreuse whites, those snow shads. We'll have one even like this. This is like a white with a little bit of a green pumpkin on it, right? These are things that you want to fish in more clear water. If there's bluegill in your water, they have literally bluegill colors. You have those green pumpkin colors. The one I just showed you will also work in those conditions. Things that make those bluegill are going to be helpful in that kind of water. Now, if there's heavy pressure in your body of water, right? So there's some lakes that just get pressure all the time. I live right by Saratoga Lake. There are anglers on that lake almost all day long. In those situations, you want to use those dull, like green pumpkin, something that is not as exciting, something that looks more natural in those conditions. Now, on the flip side, if the water is less pressured, you can use some exciting colors, those chartreuses, those reds. You can use some of those bright, that blight, those bright colors to attract those bass to that bait. So now we talked about style, we talked about color. Another big component of the chatterbait is the trailer. Like I said, it's like a swim bait, it's a jig, and it's a spinnerbait all put together. So that trailer is really helpful in accentuating the action of the chatterbait. Now, there are these spike style trailers that you can use that, like the spunk shad, the hog farmer spunk shad or the missile bait spunk shad. They have more of a pin-tailed trailer that really reacts well in certain types of environments. Another one that you might see are some of those razor shads, right? So the razor shad is a trailer made by Z-Man, or like the Yamamoto Seiko is another one that has that tail style trailer to the chatterbait. You may also see some paddle tail trailers like the Kitech, right? Or the Storm Largo shad. Those are paddle tail style trailers that really work well with chatterbaits. Now, I usually go paddle tail, but I've also used some like the Seiko style trailers. Another one that I really like are the twin tail grubs. There were some times where I would go, especially with the Mini Max, with the Strike King twin tail grub. Super small presentation, but that one will do work for me. So those trailers are really important to accentuating the action of the chatterbait. So make sure you're picking the right trailers to match the hatch and to match the forage that's in that body of water, right? So if there's bluegill, you want to try to match that style of trailer to the style of fish that are in that body of water. Now we talked about the actual components of the chatterbait. The retrieve is really important. Right? Now, can you catch bass just throwing it out there and winding it back? Yes. You can get lucky, you can catch a bass, right? So I'm not saying that you can't. If you want to catch more, there's certain retrieves at certain times of year that will help you catch more bass. So let's first talk about the retrieve concepts, right? When we're retrieving, you really want to vary that retrieve, right? Vary the speed of the retrieve. Adding rod pops, rod twitches are things that will help make that chatterbait jump in the water and move and become erratic in the water. That will help accentuate the movement of that chatterbait and then cause the bass to strike. This is also one of the baits that when bumping into cover actually accentuate the action. So if there's rocks down there, right, you can get it deep enough, you hit off those rocks, right? And then when it hits off of something, really pop it off. Getting caught in a little bit of grass isn't a bad thing. Yank that bad boy out of grass, right? As it comes over wood, right? As you get it over there, before it falls, give it a nice little pop. Those are things that really cause reaction bites from bass. In clear water, fishing for smallmouth, you can actually burn this thing, right? So really casting it way far out there, letting it fall to a certain depth, and then just burning that sucker through, that will really cause another reaction, right? So you really want to experiment. When it comes to retrieves, don't get stuck doing the same thing. That's a really big piece of advice. Don't get stuck doing the same. Even watching my videos, I fall into this trap where I would watch a video, somebody would say do it a certain way, and I would go out there for 3 hours and do it just the way they said it and not catch any bass. The issue was I didn't experiment, I didn't change, I didn't try to do something different. So I really encourage you guys, take the options, but then go out to your body of water and try to figure out how to fish it to your body of water, right? Fish it, use these options and see which one actually works in your body of water. Everybody has different things to consider, and you should really look into experimenting. Experiment. Try all different retrieves to see which really works in your body of water in that time of year, in that situation, in that scenario for that day. All right, I'm gonna give you 4 places where you need to fish this chatterbait. These are 4 places you gotta fish the chatterbait. First place, shallow water. Fall, spring especially, shallow water, really good. I'm throwing it out there, and this is one where I'm not just throwing it out there and retrieving it. I'm throwing it out, letting it hit bottom, and I'm popping it up, and then letting it fall again, and and then popping it up and letting it fall again. Those pops and flutters on that fall will attract that bass to bite, right? So shallow water is one place where you really want to fish this chatterbait. I'm about to sneeze, hold on. Oh, I hate that when I was like, there. Oh, here. Got it. Another place or condition you really want to fish this chatterbait is stained, dirty water. Excels, the vibration, the colors that we talked about will help it excel when there's dirty water. Bass have a hard time seeing in murky water, just like you do when the lights are off. They rely on the vibration of other fish in the area and the shadows that they cast to know what is forage and what is not. So the vibration and the colors that you choose for the chatterbait will help you be found by the bass in that dirty, muddy, stained water. Another place, number 3, is around vegetation. Don't be afraid to get it up in the grass. Don't be afraid to really go across those lily pads and try to get through them a little bit, to go across those grass lines. Don't be afraid to go right over the top of some of the weedy areas. Don't be afraid to get caught up a little bit in the grass. Like I said, when you get caught up a little bit, if you get a good rod pop, that might actually trigger a bite that you've been waiting for from a bass. And then lastly, around wood and rock. Those cross eyes will allow you to come over that wood really well and not let it go tip over and get stuck in there. So don't be afraid to fish around wood. Rocks are great as well. Let it deflect off a couple rocks. Let it hit something, let it deflect off of something and pop it again. Those are 4 areas where you can really fish the chatterbait and find great success. So the last thing we'll talk about is the setup, right? The rod setup. Now, I like a medium heavy bait caster with my chatterbait. I like the medium heavy fast action, but you can also go to a medium moderate rod, right? It depends on the style and what you like. I just like that medium heavy. It just feels nicer to me, but I have caught them on that moderate. The flex in the rod sometimes is helpful in landing fish. Now, I like fluorocarbon. So I go anywhere from 12 to 15 pound fluorocarbon on my chatterbait. Now, if you're missing strikes, right? If you're missing bass, you're loading it, you're setting the hook, but it's just not landing, I suggest moving away from fluorocarbon and going to braid. Now, I love fluorocarbon. It has its place. When I'm in a grass and stuff like that, when I yank it out, the fluorocarbon stretches a little bit where it doesn't pop out of the strike zone, but it gives it enough pop to entice a bite. Now with braid, when you pop it, it's gonna have less stretch and it's gonna come further out the strike zone. But that's your choice. But when it comes to landing fish, braid always helps, right? When you go down and yank and hook set that bad boy, that braid is unforgiving. You will not lose fish that way. So it really sets the hook. Now, once again, experiment. Try it a couple times with fluorocarbon. Try it in some application with fluorocarbon. Try it in some applications with braid. I like the gear ratio of like a 7:0 to 1, a 7:3 to 1, something that's not too fast where I can burn it and not cover too much water, but also not super slow. I need to feel that vibration. I need to feel that rod vibrating in my hand as it's coming across the water. That's my rod selection. That's my rod tip for you guys. But once again, I always say experiment, right? When I was a beginner and I started watching these videos, I would take them as Bible, right? I take them as gospel and only do what that video said. And I learned that over the years, I learned that you really need to experiment and figure out your best setup as an angler. Reality is nobody can tell you better than you on your body of water how to fish these things. So my suggestion is take this video, get a couple applications, go out there and try some things out, right? The chatterbait is the bait that can catch you bass all year long. In this video, I hope helped you fish the chatterbait a little bit better so that you can catch more bass this year. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, what you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and be part of the family. Hey, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.